All right. Hey, in this video, we're going to take a look at the plat notes and the legal description. What I've done previously is I created a Word document that has the legal description and the plat notes in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all these, let me write that. We're going to give you these legal descriptions and plat notes, but we're going to go through them. I'm going to make you clean them up so you can know what they're saying and what it means. So let's start with taking a look at the cover sheet on the project. So over here is our legal description. All of lots 11 and 12 and south half of lots 13 and 14, block A of section 30, township 25, south, range 27 east of the Florida Fruit and Truck Land Company at Longman, Florida, according to the plat thereof as recorded in Plat Book B, page 68, Public Records of Osceola County, Florida, less and except the north 77.5 feet of said south quarter or south half of lots 13, 14, being more particularly described. And then it has the legal description in meets and bounds. So what I'm going to do is I was able to copy most of the text out of the PDF, so we don't all have to just retype it, but we do have to take and read through and make sure they do say the exact same things. So this is your job as I do this. Whoops, let me move this over so we can both see this at the same time. Okay, so in CAD, it'll actually adjust the text also on how it looks. So let's go through it. Let me see if I can squish this a little bit. I'm going to adjust this so I can see it all in one shot. There we go. Okay. Same with this side over here. Okay. And I'll change this also to all caps. Okay, so township 25 south should have been a comma. We actually have a period there. Should have been a comma. Range 27 east truck, according to the plat thereof, is recorded in Plat Book B, page 8, less than except the north 7.5 of said south 1.5 right of way, being more particularly described as commence at the southwest corner of the northeast quarter of section 30, township 25, range east, Osceola and Fence Run. And the other thing is if we're looking at this as we're reading through, if you look at the second page, you can see what we're talking about. So down here is the point of, whoops, snap it. Let me get this bigger. So that's the point of commencement. It's the southwest corner of the northeast quarter of section 30, 25, 27. And then it runs north 0 degrees, 7 minutes, 30 seconds along the west line. So what they're talking about here is they start at this point of beginning, this point of commencement is right at this point right here. And that's why it's going 7.5 up and then over. So it's going up along the west line, and that's the west line, that center one. So the west line of the northeast quarter. And then it's going over 15 feet, and then it's running a distance of 15 feet beef of the. So this is where we're having to read through these to make sure that the copying was good. So follow along when you get a chance to make sure you understand how to read these legal descriptions. But for right now, we're just going to be cleaning this up. So let me go a little smaller, squish this over a little bit so I can see on 2 pages. There we go. All right, west line of the northeast quarter of said section 30 at a distance of 15 feet, thence run north 89 degrees east, a distance of 15 feet. It should have been feet, to the southeast corner of said 12 block A, and a point on the east right of way line 30 feet wide, right of way as shown on said plat of fruit truck at Lauman, Florida. Said point beginning the point, said point begin the point of beginning, thence run north 07, and I'm just looking at both along the west lines. So got a typo here. West lines, back over here, of lots 12 block A, and along said east right-of-way line a distance of 1,311.38 feet to the northeast corner of lot 11 block A, thence run north 89 east along the north line of lot 11 block A, a distance of 648, and get rid of that mark, feet. Okay, to the northeast corner of lot 11 block A, thence run south 0409 west. And here's the thing is, normally what the guys at work would do is they would actually read out while one was looking at the plat and making sure that the lines match the calls. Feet to the southeast corner of said lot 11 block A, thence run, and I got a degree symbol that's a little bit whacked. Control copy, control paste. Okay, 43, a distance of 663.88 to the point on the east line of said lot, block 14, block A, thence run south. Got another typo. 00044 seconds west along the east line of said block 14, block A, a distance of 648.00 feet to the southeast corner of lot 14. Got a typo. Block A, a distance of 648 feet to the southeast corner of lot 14, block A, and a point on the north right-of-way line of a 30-foot wide right-of-way as shown said plat. Sometimes it's a little awkward in writing, and it as shown said plat of the fruit and truck thence run along the south line of lots 12, 13, 14, block A, and along said north right-of-way line, a distance of 1,314.02 feet to the point of beginning. Sometimes they don't put square feet, they just go ahead and leave it as acres. All right, so that looks good. You're going to have to correct yours, like I just corrected mine. I'm going to go control copy now, and I'm going to put it on my cover sheet. All right, I'm going to put it over here like this. Control paste. And I'm going to plop it right here. and it pasted as an object. So we don't want to do that. So let's go back to the Word document. I've not had that happen before. I get that to happen in, so let's do Control Copy. Let's do this. I usually get that OLE object when I paste an Excel table in. Control Copy. So what I need to do is I'm going to grab this piece of text. I'm going to copy it and bring it over here. F8, get that off of there. Double click on it. Highlight everything. Right click and paste without any formatting. Okay. So that's fine, because sometimes if you paste with formatting, then it kind of gets wonky. Now I'm going to change that text type to 0.1, and then I have to pull this down, that little arrow, pull it down, and I'm going to do top, we'll just do top left, that's fine. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I am going to increase the size of the legal description to have to come up here to do it. 0.15, something bigger, and I'm going to underline it. There we go. So we've got that. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the plat notes. Let me go ahead and save this. Just FYI, I have been working in addition to labeling the drainage and utility easements. So you can see I've got some of those. I've also got all my dots put on there, so I expect you all to do the same. So let me go ahead and find my plat notes. So here's the plat notes. These need a little bit more love to clean up. So let me scroll up here. I am going to pull this over just so it's not going as fast as I'd like it to. That didn't work. Let's see how big this looks. Hold on. Sorry, because it might take you a little bit too also. Let me go ahead and pan this over while I'm at it so I can read it. I can read these together. I want you to really understand where all these plat notes come from. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so we have the first note. It's the bearings are based on a reference. That allows us to redraw the plat when needed, when we know what bearing we're pulling all of the reference information off of. So bearings are based on the reference bearing of north 0 degrees 7 minutes 30 seconds east along. So the L in along keeps writing 1 there, along west line of the northeast quarter of the section 30, township 25 east, range 27 south. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay. All right. The next is all platted utility easements shall provide that such easements shall also be easements for the construction, installation, maintenance, and operation of the cable television services provided. There, however, no such construction, installation, maintenance, and operation of cable television services shall interfere with the facilities and the service of an electric, telephone, gas, or other public utility in the event a cable television company damage the facilities of a public utility, it shall be solely responsible for the damages. Such construction, installation, maintenance, and operation shall comply with the National Electric Safety Code as adopted by the Florida Public Service Commission. Basically, all that is saying is the provider of your utilities, anybody that works in that area, if they break it, they've got to repair it, whether it's during the installation, maintenance, or construction of something else. Okay, so basically it's all utility easements can be used for different things, but people have to put back and have to not damage other services and cause that service to have issues. So read through that, make sure that these two match. You can see that there's typos. I'll fix them as I go along. You'll be responsible for fixing it as you go along too. The next one is the owner of real property described in this plat hereby dedicates to Tohoplaga Water Authority, TWA, its successor and assigns perpetual utility easements in, to, over, across, and under the real property as depicted on this plat for the purpose of ingress and egress to and installing, maintaining, repairing, refiguring, and reconstructing water, wastewater, and reuse water utilities and associated facilities within tracts E, G, H, and L, said easements. The owner may continue to use the surface of the easement area for only lawful purpose that do not unreasonably interfere with the easement's rights granted herein, including the right to improve the easement areas, which improvements may include parking, paving, sidewalks, lighting, landscaping, green spaces, recreation spaces, and drive aisles for motor vehicles upon written notice to and written approval from TWA. No permanent structures or improvements such as buildings, walls, or foundations shall be constructed, installed, or placed on, over, or across such utility easements. TWA, its successor and assigns, shall have the right and authority to clear the easement area of trees, limbs, vegetation, and other physical objects which endanger or interfere with the safe and efficient effective installation, operation, or maintenance of facilities existing within the utility easement. So what does that mean? TWA wrote this easement language saying, okay, this is our easement. We don't want anything in it permanently. For example, in it being your walls, your buildings, foundations for retaining walls, whatever. But you can put stuff on top of it, such as landscaping, as long as it's within the certain required distance, or parking or paving or lighting. It could have those in it. Now, it goes back to the one before it. You break it, you got to fix it. Okay. But it also allows TWA to do whatever they need to do to make their water, sewer, or reuse work. Okay, so that's 3. Now, number 4, there is a 10-foot drainage and utility easement adjacent to the road frontage of tracts E, G, and H, unless otherwise noted. What that's saying is we can look at these. These are our tracts E, G, and H, and they're the 10-foot utility easements that are in the front. Okay? And that is to allow for any type of drainage maintenance, utilities being fiber optics, cable, power, whatever. Okay. There is also a 5-foot drainage easement along the rear lot lines of lots 1 through 34 and lots 51 through 127, unless otherwise shown in favor of the retreat at Champions Gate Community Association, Inc., and or their assigns. That means anybody that comes after them or they allow. All right, so the 5-foot drainage along the rear of lots 1 through, so it's this one has a 5-foot drainage easement. 51 through, so 51 through, where's 51? Nope. There's 61. 51 must be up here. Nope. Anywho, 1 through 34, 51 through 127. So basically all the lots is what it's saying. There's a 5-foot drainage and wall easement along the rear lots of 35 through 50 in favor of the retreat at Champions Gate. Oh, here's 50. And there's a retaining wall through here. It says, which one was it? 35 through 50. So up here, the problem was there was too much of a slope, so they had to put a wall in here to grade back down to existing grade. So they had to give somebody the ability to work on that wall if the wall ever crumbled. Okay. Now, the next one is there is a 5-foot drainage and access easement along the side lot lines of all lots unless shown otherwise, and is dedicated to the retreat at Champions Gate Community Association Inc. and or their assigns. So we don't actually show the easements on the side of the lot lines. We don't have to because there is a note that puts it there. Okay, you don't always have to show them. It's nice if you can, but if we do that, it is going to be very cluttered with line work. All right, next one. Landscape tracts A and E are to be owned and maintained by the Stony Brook South. Let me push that over so I can read it. Stony Brook South at Champions Gate Community Development District with future conveyance by deed. So tracts A and E, I might actually have to look that up. I'm pretty sure those tracts are these, but let me double check. So let me expand this. Tracks A and E. So what I want you all to do is the text file that I gave you, I want you all to clean up the notes. So tracks A and E. There's L, D, H, Why can't I find tracks A and E? B, is it the other end? There, here's A. And my guess is E is the roadway. Okay, so those are going to be maintained by that one association. Let me slip back to this one. Okay, I'm sorry, landscape tracts A and K. A was the one here, K is the one down here. Yep. I don't know why I kept reading E. All right, go back to over here. All right, tracks B and C are owned and maintained by the Champions Gate Master Association. So B and C are, I'm gonna make a copy of this. So tracks B are here. So I'm going to extract this page and I'm going to put it here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and okay, so I split the screen just so I can see this a little bit easier. Okay, so tracks B and E are owned and maintained by Champions Gate Master Association with future conveyance by deed. Tract D is to be owned by the Maintenance and Retreat Champions Gate Community Association Inc. and or their assigns and future conveyance by deed. Okay, so it's two different associations. One's the Master Association, the other one's the Champions Gate Community Association. So the Master Association seems to be owning more of, which is odd. Sometimes they give the tracts to different owners to be maintained because some of them are for drainage and other ones are actually needed for like a larger group for recreational ability, because the park and the dog park, the Tract C, have different uses. Tract E, Stick Street, Backswing Way, and Drop Shot Drive are private right-of-way tracts and shall include electric utility rights over, under, and across said tract shall be owned, operated, and maintained by the Retreat at Champions Gate Community Association and or their assigns with future conveyance by deed. The public use right-of-way over and across Tract E include a perpetual easement and a right-of-way ingress and egress for the benefit of the delivery and pickup services, fire protection services, police services, ambulance services, and other authorities of law enforcement, United States mail carriers, and representatives of utilities. Tract E is subject to the jurisdiction of Osceola County in establishing such speed limits and traffic control devices deemed necessary and appropriate by Osceola County. Tract E is subject to a blanket drainage and utility easement. Basically, the two tracts, these roads up here, are going to be maintained by the people basically that live there. Or their homeowners association, whereas the Whistling Straits Boulevard is going to be maintained by Osceola County. So they have to give everybody the right to access the properties on tract, or access the tracts and maintain them. Okay, so Tract G, Whistling Straits Boulevard, is a private right-of-way. Tract G, Whistling Straits Boulevard, is a private right-of-way tract and shall include electric. So it is being owned and operated by Champions Master Association, where these are being maintained. I thought Osceola County was going to control it, but the next one says Tract G is actually a private right-of-way by the Champions Master Association. So two different associations. Master Association is taking care of this road, and the Community Association is taking care of these roads. It talks about public use rights over the Tract G include perpetual easement and right-of-way ingress and egress for the benefit and delivery of everything that was listed before, okay, and is subject to a blanket easement. These two seem to be repeating itself, which is fine. It's just seems to be repeating itself. Tract H, West Side Boulevard, is a public right-of-way. So Tract H is this one right here. Is a public right-of-way boulevard, a right-of-way, and shall include electric utility rights over, under, and across said tract, and shall be owned, operated, and maintained by Osceola County. Wetland Tract J is to be owned and maintained by the Stony Brook South at Champions Community Development District and or successor and assigns with a future conveyance by deed. See, so far we've already got three different entities owning and or controlling this property. So wetland is the Stony Brook South, and usually it's a CDD. It's a some type of drainage district, a community association, and then a master community. So this development is within a master community. Tract H, West Side Boulevard, Tract L and M are landscape and hardscape tracts and shall be owned and maintained by the Champions Master Association, because the Master Association wants everybody's development to look similar and cohesive. All landscape elements, if any, within the development, including trees and public right-of-ways, as required by Osceola County Land Development Code, shall be maintained by the Retreat at Champions Gate Association. So the community is required to maintain the trees. All street lights, if any, within this development are to be owned and maintained by the Stony Brook South at Champions Gate Community Development District and or successors and assigns. Okay, so they control. The plat notes tell who control what and whose responsibilities are what, and if something needs to be fixed, then it gives the proper authority to go onto the land and fix it. Okay. Osceola County shall have the right, but not obligation, to access, maintain, repair, and otherwise care for or cause to be cared for stormwater management area and drainage easements, including without limitations the drainage systems constructed therein. A blanket egress easement is granted in favor of Osceola County. So there's a pond over here, This tract is for the pond, and basically it's saying, and the pipes that are in the system. If something happens and somebody's not maintaining the drainage, then they will go out and maintain it. This plat hereby grants to Duke Energy the rights to use, go under and across, or through road right-of-ways tracks E, G, and H, and all utility easements shown on the plat. Lots 1 through 27, Stony Brook South, North Parcel, Phase 3, are to be operated as short-term rentals in compliance with the term and provisions of Chapter 24 of Osceola County Code and Ordinance. The Federal Fair Housing Act entitled, I'm not sure what that Roman numeral is, of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended by the Fair Housing Act Amendments Act of 1988. So these notes need to go onto our cover. So what I've done is I have given you the notes, and you do need to clean up the notes. You can see that there are typos in it, okay? A lot of typos. But once you get those typos fixed, and mine aren't fixed right now, once you get the typos fixed, Control copy. So I'm going to copy this over here. And you are going to Control paste special, paste without any formatting. And then you'll have the notes here. All right. So you can see that the notes should be called, see how they call them. Plat notes. That's all they're called. So here's plat notes. I'm going to double click. Again, these are not corrected. You need to correct them. I am giving you the text. So change that to 0.15, and I didn't change that. Obviously it's not bigger. 0.15 here, and underline it. All right, so you can add the notes to it. You'll have to squish this because I want, oops, that's not what we need to do. I'm going to have to undo that back a bit. Probably change this to 0.08 if we need to get it to fit. But you do have the notes now. Let me move this up a bit. Move this over to there. There we go. All right, so the notes are in there. So the last thing that I want to talk about on this plat has to do with the dedications. So let's take a look at the dedications right now. All right, I am going to close this for right now. Come over here, get that bigger. So your job is to create the dedications. I don't have this in a Word document, so you need to bring it, you need to create it as best as you can. So Stony Brook South, North Parcel 3, Phase 3 dedication. Known all men by these present that the company Lennar Homes LLC, being the owner in fee simple of the lands described in the foregoing caption to this plat, hereby dedicate said lands and plat for the use and purpose therein expressed, tracts H, As noted in the plat, note 14 is dedicated to the public for public right-of-way. This plat also dedicates all utility rights over the right-of-way and drainage right-of-way. Got sidetracked. Right-of-way tracks E and G and the stormwater tract F, as well as the utility and drainage easement shown hereon, to the perpetual use of the public. This is a private subdivision. No part of said lands, except as noted in this dedication or otherwise on the face of this plat, is dedicated to Osceola County. A blank egress easement is granted to Osceola County over tracts E, G, and the stormwater tract F to access, maintain, care for, or cause to be cared for said tracts. It's basically a repeat of a lot of the notes here. And then it just basically has two witnesses and a public a notary. Okay, qualification statement of surveyor and mapper. So this is the person that created the map. Okay, so known all men by these present that the undersigned is a licensed and registered surveyor and mapper, that the foregoing plat was prepared by him or under his direct supervision, that permanent reference monuments have been placed, permanent control points and lot corners have been or will be placed as required by the state and regulations, that this plat complies with the survey requirements of Chapter 177 Florida Statute in Osceola County and Land Development Code. The land described hereon lies in Section 30, Township 25, South, Range 27, East. Okay, so here in this plat, you have to know that all of those dots that we show on the plan have to be some type of reference marker, and that's what that means. Okay, certificate of approval by surveyor representing Osceola County. So another company actually reviewed the plans and state that they comply with the Chapter 177 of the Florida statutes. Okay, so Randy Hansen reviewed it and said it's all good. Certificate of approval by Board of County Commissioners. That's basically the county commissioners accept it. Certificate of approval by county engineers. The county engineer looked at it and accepted it. Certificate of county clerk. Therefore, they accepted it at the clerk's office. And then this is the surveyors that created the map. Also note there may be additional restrictions that are not recorded in this plat and may be found on the public records of this Osceola County, of this county. Notice, this plat as recorded in its graphic form is the official depiction of the subdivided land described herein, will in no circumstance be supplanted in authority by any other graphic or digital form of the plat. Just FYI notes. Okay, so basically, everybody, that is the final project for creating this plat. If you have any questions, just let me know.